Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to an incredible night and an incredible open division. My name is Night Geo, and I'm casting alongside Coffee and Youish. How you guys going tonight?
Evening night. Should have a good final night of the season. Pretty close to see who's going to get the second spot. Should be some good games to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited. Last week at Open Division, we've had some fantastic weeks. I'm excited to be joined by Coffee, someone, a premier player, some insight that both of us were probably learn from. So it should be a good night of HotS ahead of us.
Yeah, I can't wait to dissect that brain as much as I can. Hopefully, I'm not going to put you too much on the spot, Coffee. But like you said, tonight is going to be the night. It is week 8, and already we have a lot of teams fighting for that top 2 place. Looking at the leaderboard, We Left School for This have secured themselves a spot towards the Crucible in first seed, but it is a second seed spot that's highly contested. Crimson at a total points of 17, but right on their tail you got Funky Moon, Capital, and Pleb 2 Pro all on 15, and tonight's the night for them to see if they can fight back and challenge and take that spot away from Crimson.
Yeah, right now Crimson has the head-to-head advantage on all of them, so if any team wants to get the spot away from Crimson, they're going to have to win 3 more games than Crimson does this evening. That'll probably mean they're going to have to win all 4 games.
Any particular matchups you would like to see, Coffee or Youish, considering such a high matchup with Crimson? What would you like to see take it to them?
I mean, any of those teams, I think that probably for the consistency, probably Funky Moon. If Funky Moon Crimson, I think probably has the closest chance. To be able to win all 4 games though, and Crimson to basically, if all they need to do is win like more than 2 games, so it's going to be a pretty hard night for anyone to pass Crimson, I think.
Yeah, if Crimson get 2 games tonight, they've locked themselves in for the number 2 spot. Right now, I'm looking at all the match history, and Crimson's beaten every single time we've gone against any of these 3 teams. Crimson has won, so all of them should be interesting. Probably similar chances.
Absolutely right. And now the importance of the fact that hitting in the top 2 seed is these teams will go on to face the 2 relegated teams from the Premier, which were Pleb 2 Pro and Reality coming down to the bottom 2 of the standings. These teams will face the top 2 seeds and in a best of 5 series, which is the Crucible. And how that would work, a team that came in seed 1, which was We Left School for This, get to pick their opponent. So they get a choice out of Pleb 2 Pro or Reality, and the team that comes in second seed will be able to fight off the next team, and whoever wins out of those best of 5s get a spot in the Premier, and now they get to join in the road and also represent the pro scene of ANZ. It would be an interesting matchup. Pleb 2 Pro Reality, you've versed them, Coffee, in the Premier scene. What can you say about these 2 teams?
Moobs in particular is worth pointing out from Team Pleb 2 Pro. As a support, he has some very interesting pocket picks for Anna from Ras. These are picks we do see more often in the Open Division than in Premier, but he might be able to throw the challenging team off with some of his picks. On the side of Reality, we've seen also them play some interesting things. I think most recently we had Pesky on the Tyrande on Towers of Doom, almost single-handedly winning the game in the late game with all the owl stacks.
A very strong player. And now to toss it over to the Open Division, you're a massive fan of We Left School for This. Where do you think their chances are taking on one of these 2 teams?
It's going to be interesting. I think we sort of saw a little bit of a crack in We Left School for This armor last week. There was their worst week of the entire tournament. They only won 2 games of their 4. Whether that's because even at last week they knew they'd secured that first spot they were going through, they were maybe taking it a bit easy, not sure. So I'd like to see a stronger performance from them tonight. I think they've been around the scene for a long time. They only, sort of narrowly missed out on that chance to get into the Premier League since we've converted to that format in ANZ. So I think the way they've been playing in Open and they're well prepared, I think they can really take a chance for either of those teams. I think they've got a solid chance at picking up that Premier spot.
It will be definitely a great night to watch all the teams from Open Division, whoever makes it through to take on. A great night to see. Hopefully we'll be there to at least commentate or watch it, really. I wouldn't mind. I'd like to be there. Now, going into tonight's matchup, the first map in tonight's game, we're going to be seeing Funky Moon take on Run It Down. When we looked at Run It Down, they unfortunately did come in late into the season, and as such, they won't be able to make it towards the top 2 seed. But that does not mean they're not a strong team. They are very dangerous, and they are able to, in my opinion, cause upsets. And Funky Moon, again, we noted they are competing for that second spot, and they can't afford to drop a game. They have to bring their A game. This would be a very, very highly contested matchup. Going into it, though, what map are we playing on Coffee for tonight, the first round?
We're going to be on Infernal Shrines. Fairly standard map. Probably won't be seeing too much cheese strategy coming out today.
What do you reckon would be the pick and ban phase, like a highly contested pick or a highly contested ban? What should we see going into it once we're there?
Well, I think it's a standard map. Got to control the area around the shrine. Think that all attackers who will be able to easily swap between getting the Shrine Guardians and harassing the other team will be strong. So probably going to see Reyna, going to see Phoenix, maybe see Ivala. I think those are going to be the strongest assassins. And then in the tank side, we're going to be looking for the zone control tanks. Things like Garrosh, things like Diablo. They should be pretty strong and highly contested in the draft.
You mentioned Vala, and you wish we've highlighted a few weeks ago that Funky Moon aren't afraid to pull out the Vala Oriole composition. They're also not afraid to pull out a Cho'Gall, which we've noticed is consistently banned, and for good reason. Many, many weeks ago, they were one of the teams to take it to Wheeler School for this with the Cho'Gall pick. But would we see something along those lines with Funky Moon, especially going to the first round?
It's entirely possible. I'd be surprised if they wanted to pull something like a Cho'Gall on Infernal Shrines. Like you said, the risk of running that cheese on a night that's important, if they want to try and get that spot, they need to win every game. So you might want to go something a little bit more consistent. But we've talked about it before. The reason the Cho'Gall works sometimes is if you can draft accordingly, you can catch your opponent off guard with it if they don't have a counter. So everything is entirely possible when it comes to Heroes of the Storm drafting.
It's going to be a really interesting matchup. Now, I'm thinking of other picks. Watch the Western Clash came up soon. We saw Cassia being picked up. Would we see something that transitioning into the Open Division, or would it just be staple meta picks? It is a very important night, very safe. Or could we see something come out of a pocket and a hidden pick? You wish.
It's entirely possible. I mean, I like the Cassia. She's really, in international play, particularly risen in popularity. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but her pick rate and her win rate, up until at least the Western Clash, was incredibly high. It was something like 60%, I believe. So that's definitely what started off as a pocket pick. Definitely drafted into something a little bit more common. One of my favorites was something like I just gave it away. The Infernal Shrines is Alex Straja. Her Dragon form is such a strong zoning tool over those shrines. Something that we've seen, a little bit Octalysis plays from North America, and we've seen some of the European teams adapt to it as well. So that's, something we might possibly see.
I'm definitely excited going into the ban phase once we get into it. And just on a final note, Coffee, being a Premier player, being a team that does compete at the highest level for ANZ, when you see Infernal Shrines, what is some of the, strategies that you would bring to this map? Like, where does it come from? Merc control, any kind of advantageous strategies or something that could help a team secure an early advantage when they go into Infernal Shrines?
Yeah, well, look, around the Shrine time, around the 3-minute mark, you're going to want to see both of these teams looking to get their Shaman camp around that time. So it's pushing the top lane. That way, someone's going to have to split off to clear it, which will give them advantage on the Shrine. Around the 1-minute mark, we'll probably see the siege camps being taken by both teams. But of course, we could be seeing some invades, especially if some globals get drafted this game.
It'll be a strong thing. Now we're going to be heading over towards the pick and ban phase. Unfortunately, guys, because we don't really have the right overlays for each team, we're just going to be running blanks, but they're still good. They look pretty. They look nice. Chris is doing a good job with the production side of things. But we are heading in towards the ban phase for this game, and it's going to be exciting. You mentioned we might see something like a Vala, Jaina, Coffee. And in the first pick and ban phase now, the option will go towards Run It Down. What would be a highly contested first pick, actually, for this map?
Well, they have to spend for obvious one. UL still incredibly strong, still really powerful around these objectives and in the solo lane, getting taken off of the board straight away.
Now, a kind of a deal with it. Would we see at least Dahaka being picked up, knowing that there is no URL up in that solo lane? Something less of a bully to deal with?
In Premier, we tend to have 3 main solo laners for UL, the Dahaka, and the Blaze. Right, so I'd expect to see Dahaka on one side and Blaze on the other. Blaze being strong in the lane, and Dahaka having the global pressure.
And the ban coming up from Funky Moon is going to be the Alex Straza, so that's going to deny that. I guess point nuisance, the fact that she can just control the area, dust away when she's on Dragon Queen mode, force players, force disposition. So it's a first ban. And Genji is staple ban. Do we see a lot of that? That thought like, no, we've got to ban him, kind of a nuisance type thing, or is there a real strategical reason Genji must be banned?
We don't see a lot of Genji in Premier because he's always banned. He has so much potential to completely take over the game, carry his team to victory. He's always going to be banned, and when he isn't, he's very highly picked.
Rightfully so. Yeah, I think he has not missed a single ban phase at all in the Open Division. And finally, the Phoenix has been banned away by Funky Moon. And then insta-lock Asmodan. That is an interesting one. That kind of caught me off guard, but what are your thoughts on that, Coffee?
With the recent scaling change Asmodan got, he's got a lot higher glow damage early game in exchange for slightly less scaling. But that's fine, since most of his globe of annihilation scaling actually comes from the quest, so what does that mean? He has a lot more early game damage, and he can clear the waves quickly. He's very strong to get a snowball early on into the game.
Yeah, I find him still a nuisance to play when I'm versing him in good old Hero League. But in response, Funky Moon do take themselves a Tacita Tracer, very dangerous composition. It works well, gives Tracer the ability to heal from auto attacks. And a response from Run It Down to decide to go to the good old Johanna, get the blind, deny that potential, and Dahaka being picked up. So for strong teams, what do you think of the picks so far entering into the second stage of bans?
Johanna's got the plus shield, and Dahaka's there to follow up with the isolation. It looks like their strategy is just to try and knock down Tracer, grab her, and take off a board. Got the burst damage initially from Asmodan. So I would hope to see Funky Moon picking up a cleanse support to try and counter the strategy, but we'll see what they ban.
They bring it to last second. In fact, they ban away the Rhaegar, get rid of that consistent healing. Since the changes, he's been able to heal more better, more fluid. And that's Funky Moon taking off 2 supports, strong supports, really. And this leaves open the potential of, you got Malfurion still available. I believe Stukov is back and out this week. Did have the week ban off with Chromie. And Sonya being banned away by Run It Down. Going to the next pick phase. Could we see Stukov coming up?
Well, we're definitely not going to see Chromie. Got absolutely destroyed with her changes. And from what I can tell, I haven't seen too much Stukov, but I don't think we'll be seeing him either. He's a lot weaker now that his lurking arm build's been nerfed. But there's that Cassia you were talking about earlier on. Straight out for Western Clash and into Open Division.
And also the Malfurion being picked up as well. So, strong team. They're leaving a tank, but oddly enough, Funky Moon seem a very squishy team composition. Wouldn't you say, Coffee? They're not that much of a frontline presence, except for what Cassia and Tracer. You got Tacita and Malfurion for the double support composition, but is double support still a strat that works efficiently?
Yeah, so that right now they've picked up no bruiser, no tank, so I'm guessing we're going to see Tastar up in the solo lane. In exchange for you have 2 fairly short-range assassins in Cassia and Tracer, but they are very squishy. They could easily be bursted down by Runner Down with their comp.
And they finally lock in Oriole and Gul'dan. He's got great area control, great wave clear. We'll be able to deal with all those little minions in Infernal Shrines. And Oriole being picked up also provides that extra blind if she does go for that build, deny Tracer those auto attacks, and if she does come in, like you mentioned, they decide to go for a pick, focus, isolate, she can knock him back, and Muradin is going to be the rounding up pick for Funky Moon. Solid teams. You wish. What are your thoughts on this pick and ban phase?
I'll be honest, I am befuddled. That Funky Moon, like they're going into the Task Tracer, that's not something too surprising. We've seen them doing that double support, typically with the Vala, we've seen the last couple of weeks. But then to go a second auto attacker, we're going with the Cassia and a Tracer, and like Coffee said, not having a bruiser, not really having a solo laner is just bizarre. I don't think I've ever actually seen a draft quite like that one. So that's going to be really interesting. And then on the other side, with Oriole, it's not a hero we've seen a lot of. Now supported by the Gul'dan to, give her that hope. It's going to be equally interesting. I think we're in for a very interesting game.
And what about you, Coffee? What do you think of the two comps that we got seeing into this first round for Funky Moon taking on Run It Down? Any interesting tidbits, little things you see? Oh, that's a interesting pick.
Quite frankly, I'm quite scared for Funky Moon. I really like first draft that Run It Down have managed to get. Got for Asmodan and Gul'dan doing the excellent AoE damage. I don't know if Malfurion's going to be able to heal it all up since he's more sustained than the burst damage of Asmo and the Gul'dan. Looks to me like Funky Moon's putting all their bags, all their fruit into the basket that is Fesh on the Tracer.
Well, it is going to be a do or die. Hopefully he is able to go off on Tracer. But we are entering into the first round of Week 8 of the Open Division. On the blue side, we've got the good old Funky Moon fighting for second spot. Botslick is playing Muradin, Stump God on Cassia. Gloves will play Malfurion, Penton, Tassadar, and finally Fesh is on that Tracer. So what do we got on the red team?
And on the side, we have Akbamo on the Gul'dan, Bullcrow on Johanna, Leneth on Dahaka, Tarkus on Oriole, and Baxtermonium on the Asmodan.
Already right off the bat, both teams just sizing up, length looking for the Dragon to get anything. Does miss. Just a little, I guess, macho showing off the guns in the first battle. Is it common to see this as a strategy, all members grouping up in mid lane for that level 1 fight?
It absolutely is. Just looking to bully the other team out, trying to get control of the map, get the faster rotations. Looks to me like Funky Moon won this first engagement as they're controlling the middle.
And the fight is still going on, forcing Fesh and Botslick a bit low. And the good old Run It Down, just a lot healthier in fact. Tarkus as Oriole, the Hope, healing quite a lot, and Fesh is disconnected. We've got a Tracer, but doing all the damage. I wonder if we're going to get a pause coming through. And yeah, there we go.
Right now, we're just having Run It Down rotating with their Asmodan, with their Gul'dan and Johanna, trying to quickly clear the waves, get Baxtermonium his Asmodan stack that he needs. He's already on 30, which is pretty good for being only 1 man in. Looks like our teams are ready to go again.
Build up them stacks, get Asmodan all fed up and nicely. He wants to be greedy. We got Fesh back in the mood. Well, what can you say? He got good old ANZ internet, does play up. Hopefully doesn't play up too much tonight. It is a big night for Funky Moon. They can't afford to drop any games if they're going for that second spot. And already we're seeing the Funky Moon rotating, grabbing themselves a siege camp, applying that pressure in towards that mid lane. I think it's a bit too early. I would have loved to have seen it around the 2.5 minute mark, because by then you would know that the top shrine is coming up soon. What's it, 3 minutes? That's my take on it, Coffee.
Right now we're just having the difference of strategies between the two teams of having Run It Down, stacking the Asmodan. In the meanwhile, we're having Funky Moon try and gain the map advantage with the camp. It is going to be cleared quickly by Run It Down though.
Got the good old wave clear from good old Gul'dan. It's just able to destroy in 2 seconds. But they did manage to expose themselves all in that middle lane. It allows Funky Moon to rotate and get the bottom siege camps as well, applying pressure across the lanes.
They do need to finish it.
Exactly, they have to get it down quickly with Bullcrow. Can he check it? They do grab the camp and walk away, so it's not too bad for themselves. Fesh trying to get some damage, stack up that ultimate for himself, and doing quite nicely. I find it interesting. Tacita's not solo laning. It's in fact Cassia that's taken up that solo role against the Haka. And she's doing an okay-ish job.
Yep, she's just going to try and stick at range, throw her pointy sticks at Zenith on with the Haka, try and get him down. They're both very low right now. Zenith's already used his S, and she's going to have to back. Stumpgod's going to be healing up with her Ring of the Leech at level 4.
Well, if anything, he's able to come back because of good old Brushstalk, and there he is, up in nearly full health.
He's good to go.
He's good to go for Win the Shrine, which has just spawned. And we're seeing the rotation from Run It Down, making their way up towards the shrine itself. Funky Moon a bit slow, had to deal with the minion wave in the middle lane, looking to soak up as much experience, but both teams are very even in experience-wise at the moment. About to hit level 6, and they've started onto the shrine, and Length gets a drag on towards Botsley, followed by the stun. He's able to jump away, not doing much, just a little poke, but they do have themselves a nice advantage with the creeps already.
Absolutely, right now we're seeing Run It Down trying to push across past the midpoint. Funky Moon trying to poke him down at range, but looks to me like this shrine, as of right now, is going to be going over to Run It Down.
They do have positional advantage, and you're seeing Funky Moon forcing themselves in. Baxter down to half health, Length down to half health. There comes Fish, he gets onto Akbermo, does not get the kill. Pulse Bomb was used, he's able to go back, grab some taps at the well. But this allows Funky Moon to now take positional advantage and get themselves the creep score to catch up.
Yep. Run It Down, they've tapped, they're ready to go back in if they want the shrine.
And that's what
Wilco up
they
in
do.
the front.
Wilco in there, got Akbermo, Baxter has to deal with the Tracer in the background. Botsley, it's a bit low, but Length wants a piece of the action. Instead, now it's just a little topsy-turvy back and forth tug of war. And again, Run It Down, taking advantage, but Length avoids it, Pulse Bomb. Tracer had to back away, Stasis now popped up, is sustaining, they're forcing it in, and they are able to secure the first Punisher. This has to back away, Funky Moon need to retreat and survive. Oh, it's coming, Stumpy! Stumpy's gone! And that's the first member for Funky Moon dropping, and level 7 talents, fourth Run It Down.
This is not good right now for Funky Moon. Run It Down pushing in really hard, they've got the man advantage, they've got the objective, and they've got the siege with Yasmin and Demons.
Botsley taking a stun to the face, he's down low as well. He has to be careful, they're still pushing and they're taking quite a lot of damage. With this first Punisher, they should be able to secure the first fort. That's quite a good play coming out from Run It Down.
This fort's definitely gone, there's too much siege on the side of Run It Down. Bot Silk barely getting away. But right now, Run It Down have a 1-level lead.
And they're still pushing a bit, but it's not much Fesh. I feel like it relies on him a lot for the damage. He's trying, he does go in, he's trying to get the pulse bombs. He went on to Akbermo before, but just not enough. There was no real burst to secure that kill, especially when you got Tarkus, when he hits level 10, will be able to shield his teammates, keep them alive, force into that stasis once the pulse bomb does come out. I feel like there is an answer towards a Tracer at the moment, but would then that rely on Cassia to try and do the damage? I feel like she can't do it much either.
I think they're going to have to take Valkyrie at level 10 with Cassia and look to get a pick of that. I don't think that they're going to be able to get a kill Pulse Bomb because, as you said, Crystal Aegis is there just in case.
And another pause coming out. Oh, that's an unfortunate thing. But it does give us time to analyze the map. We're seeing already first Punisher did allow them to take the top fort. And that put themselves in a nice, comfortable lead experience-wise. It opens up the map. It's not a common thing to see. Usually the first Punisher is not that remotely strong enough. You could deal with it if you manage to pull it appropriately and clear it quickly. But unfortunately, Funky Moon, a little bit hesitant there, didn't get the right positioning. In fact, Stump God was caught a bit too much, left in the shrine, and he fell. But we're seeing Run It Down. They run it down all the way to bottom lane and securing the bottom camp. And they're starting to paint the map red, getting the middle camp as well on the way. And it works for them. They're in a comfortable lead, a comfortable position. But once we hit level 10, they do have means of dealing with the Tracer who does go in. Comes down to, I feel like they have to blow those ultimates. Funky Moon need to change up the strategy to force the isolation, force the Blessed Shield in some way. And I don't know, you got also Horrify to deal with. There's a lot of CC that Run It Down are running.
Absolutely, there's a very long CC chain on the side of Run It Down. You mentioned for Horrify, Malfurion does not have the ability to remove that with Nature's Cure. It only removes the stuns, try that again, stuns, slows, and roots, not the silence of Horrify. So that could be scary if get a good Horrify onto a Tracer or the Cassia.
Just so much to deal with. You mentioned there was a cleanse that would have helped a lot had Funky Moon drafted that, but instead they opted to go with Malfurion. I would have felt like you got Alex Straz's banned away. The only other cleanse that I know of, you got Brightwing, but Brightwing itself is not really that strong of a support. Unfortunately, it makes me sad. I'd love to see him. Strukov, I don't recall, has a cleanse on him. Uther does. I feel like Uther could have worked. Adds that kind of frontline ability. He's a bit tankier for a support to at least join the Muradin up in the front line. I'm surprised he wasn't picked through.
Not sure about that one. Uther does have a front line, but there's a lot of sustained damage on the side of Down. Gul'dan, excellent with Corruption, lots of sustained damage. Asmodan also with the Global Annihilation. I don't think Uther would have had the necessary healing. Sure, he would have had the cleanse, but wasn't matter if you bullied out before the fight even starts.
And now Run It Down have hit their level 10. They've got their hero talents. We're seeing Crystal Aegis, we're seeing Isolation, also Blessed Shield as well, and Horrify. That chain CC is just monstrous. And it's going to be quite a nuisance if Tracer does decide to go in. Has to work around that and see what they can do. But they're constantly rotating between middle and the bottom lane, applying pressure, forcing the minions to go up and try and do some damage towards those walls. Both the middle and bottom lane walls have fallen. And now they're rotating up to mid lane. Penta, Fish have to be a bit careful. Didn't anticipate that and just backed off.
Absolutely, they're just waiting to get a good fight. They're looking for the objective to come up soon before Run It Down can reach their level 13s. They won't be able to win a fight, most likely, if that happens. So they're just hoping the countdown appears any second now.
Interesting to see that Ball Lightning was picked up by Cassia. I agree with you on the idea of Valkyrie would have made more sense. You just get the isolation, force at least a Crystal Aegis out of that, so that way you don't have to deal with it when the Pulse Bomb comes through. But a Ball of Lightning, maybe for the infinite level 20, apply that back row damage. Don't really see that being a well pick, but now very dangerous. Muradin has to back away. They concede the bottom fort. A very well position coming up from Run It Down. Get themselves a 2-level lead advantage entering towards the next Shrine phase.
Yep, level 12 right now for Run It Down. They might be able to hit 13 before the fight breaks out with the Haka soaking the top lane, but it looks like both teams are going to go straight onto the point.
This time, Funky Moon got the positional advantage. Taking some creeps already at 15. But here comes Bullcrow. Going in, gets a condemned bot slick. Gets stunned as well, but here comes Fesh. Hops onto Akbemo. Does a lot of damage, but he's not able to drop him. His bops backs away, pops the Horrify, and now Muradin is solo. But Fesh, again, chasing. He's trying to sense out the Gul'dan. Can they do anything? Stumpy. Can't get the pick. Also low, but Akbemo out of position. Gets busted, and he falls down. Glugs down low. Bullcrow in half place, and Funky Moon are winning in this team fight.
They got the kill, and now they're going to see how much more they can get out of it. They are going to back off now. Excellent globe from Maximonium.
Tranquility was used to at least sustain, but Cassia falls, and that's going to be 1-for-1. Gul'dan's up in 5 seconds, so he'll be able to get back towards that fight and help out, but would it be a bit too late? Funky Moon, 33 stacks, and counting, 34. Bullcrow, Length, they're trying something, but Length gets stunned. Here comes Tarkus and Backstuff. They're trying to do something, get a pick, do some damage, but they will lose this Shrine. And it is going to go towards good old Funky Moon securing the second Punisher, which is the Arcane one. A strong one at that.
Absolutely, this is going to push very hard. Arcane Punisher, known for how scary it is. See how much Funky Moon can get out of this one, but it's pulled over by Johanna, by Bullcrow with the Iron Skin.
Very well pulled over, at least allows him to deal with it quickly. Already dropping down to half health, and hasn't done much fort damage. Stomp God and Co managed to take one tower, but that's all they got from this second Punisher. Not something that Run It Down were able to do. Now they have to back away. Level 13 talents from Run It Down. Length, he's chasing, he's looking for something, he's trying to get a pick, but they smartly get away, and now rotating Tacit to the bottom lane to get some soaking experience. But nonetheless, only got small structural damage out of that Punisher. feel like it wasn't utilized properly, but then again, that was Run It Down's very well positioned play by Bullcrow, pulling it in the right location.
Absolutely, 2-level advantage meant they had a lot more damage than normal onto that Punisher. Got pulled over by the Iron Skin. Run It Down very happy. They still have their lead. They still have just over a level in terms of experience. They're just waiting to get level 16 into the next shrine.
Baxter's stacks are just so monstrous. He's already at 282 and it's growing. He ain't dropping anytime soon. 11 minutes in. He's going to be applying a lot of damage. Now, Cassia has to be careful. Stumpy, they're rotating. Here comes Run It Down. He matched a horsey away and get to safety. And there's also Botslick to help out. But almost caught out of position. The rotation from Run It Down is something to highlight. They're doing quite a good job constantly applying pressure across the lanes. Getting the right camps. They're painting the map red. And rotating between as a group now on 5. Again, have the level advantage. They get him to Fesh. He's dropping low. Stunned is Botslick.
Bless Shield misses.
Get away. Bless
Shield. It'll be a huge win for Funky Moon.
They're going to be careful. Horrify is still available. Botslick is so low. And he's going to get dragged in towards his death. And then finally, that's the Warrior down. That's a frontline down. And all the squishies are what remain for Funky Moon.
Absolutely. That's the only frontline that's been killed. So now, Run It Down, free to push in onto the final fort. Most likely going to get it.
So much siege damage. Baxter, if one globe is able to destroy a full minion wave, and that's a lot of pressure if he wants to play for it. They do secure the middle fort, opening up the map. They hit level 15, very close to level 16. I decided to make their way towards the Mercs, and this is what we mentioned before. Run It Down, a very strong team. And they're taking it to Funky Moon, who can't afford to drop a game.
Absolutely. Every game is going to matter this week. Going to need to get 2 more games than the Crimson Academy. They cannot afford to lose this one if at all possible.
Next shrine coming up in 20 seconds. Fesh getting the camp. Has to back away, but a great Blessed Shield locks up 2 members, but they're unable to follow it up. Instead, Run It Down. Just going to clear this camp. Not have to worry about it applying pressure in that top lane once as a shrine is down in that bottom lane. But they have their own camp to grab if they go for it now.
This is probably going to be one of the best chances Funky Moon has to win a fight. Bless Shield's still down for another 35 seconds. They need to get the shrine before that comes back up or they're in trouble, being down to 16 talent.
Get advantage again. Down up to 10, but here comes the rotation from Run It Down. Bullcrow is trying to just do a little dance, see what he can do. Poke a bit, Glugs.
Here comes
the damage, but here comes the teammates. They get inside to get the advantage. Botslick down to half out. He has to back away. And now Run It Down again in the right position. They have to keep an eye. Careful of Baxter. Akberma a bit low. There was a pulse bomb jump to the Bullcrow. Doesn't get the pick instead, but Tarkus will be able to sustain his teammates alive. And now for the second fight. Here comes Fesh. Oh, Bullcrow needs to be careful with Solid. Botslick is chasing him. Can he get the kill? But a great globe. Forces Panther to pop ultimate. Now it's a big brawl happening in towards that shrine. Bullcrow low. Akbermo very low. He is horrified. He does land on Botslick. But the sustain coming out from Funky Moon's keeping all the members alive. Fesh so damn low. And they are able to get towards great position. Getting as much as they can. 34 Botslick. He still lives. The Muradin that can. And Funky Moon do secure themselves the next Punisher, despite being a talent tier behind.
Excellent play by Funky Moon there, going in before the Bless Shield came up, were able to push advantage, force Run It Down off the shrine, and now they have got themselves the 3rd Protect Punisher of the game. And they're doing a lot more with this one than the last one.
Here comes Funky Moon, they're pushing down towards the bottom fort. They're still behind a level and a half. Despite getting inside the 2 Punishers, and in fact they can't secure this fort. They have to back away. Stump God's so damn low. He's trying to live the sustain over. Blessed Shield locks up Fesh. He's dashing away, gets to safety.
Baxter.
There's the links of Tracer, and they get the 1 kill. Can they get any more? Run It Down, chasing him hard, but no, can't get any more from that. And a great defense from Run It Down.
Absolutely. Still up for 16 talent tier advantage, 1.5 level now lead for Run It Down. They're going to be very happy with their current position, even if they're not winning these Punishers.
Just the sheer damage coming up from Run It Down as well. Azmodan, he's just blowing up. He's already completed the 400 stacks. And at 15 minutes, I've not seen that at all yet. And he's just absolutely tearing through. When they try to push up with Muradin, All of a sudden, you just see the tide pool of the globe coming out from Asmodon, and bang, Tassadar, Malfurion down to half health already, and that's already going to deter them and slow any kind of aggressive play that Funky Moon are trying to get.
The sheer amount of burst damage that Asmodon is able to do now with the 400 stacks is really big. Wrath, of course, not only does it give you the very easy stacking with the basic stacks, it also offers a lot of burst. Not only do you get the globe damage, but then you also get 400 more damage on the next auto attack. Of course, with the Bombardment, you're hitting all of them with the extra attack. You might be able to just kill Tracer or Cassia outright with just a single dunk.
I would not want to be facing off that. If I'm playing Tracer, I'll be bloody spamming my Blink ability as soon as I'm like, okay, going in, crap, get out. And it's just gonna, you're gonna probably buy a new keyboard by the end of tonight.
Down.
But here comes Runner. Look, they get the rotation, they get the drag, Bot Slick, pops Avatar, but the Blessed Shield locks up two members. Fesh gets blown up! And we're mentioning just how dangerous Asmodon is. Now Glugs needed to force the Tranquility. They're sustaining Penta and Glugs. They're dealing with the Asmodon Stuff God onto Akbemo, and he's sustaining so much, but Stumpy, she gets the pick. Baxter, solo, Botslick is trying to get something, but Lent's going to get the kill onto Cassia. Botslick onto Asmodon, and that is a 3-for-2 exchange. Looking to get a 5 as Tarkus stuns up Botsy. Can he do something? He's trying to 1v2, but the drag misses. And Botslick
on the way.
Decides to do the sacrificial heroic ability and lets Glugs live. But a 4-for-2 exchange. Run it down, looking strong, and just highlight that Asmodon damage was insane.
Absolutely, but not only was it 4-for-2, they also had the Shaman Camp pushing in the top lane, almost getting the entire keep by itself, down to about a quarter health and falling.
And they keep this alive, they're trying, it's so low, they might lose it, they do.
It's gone.
That keep is gone, and that's a great advantage coming out from Run It Down. Now they've got a win potential coming up from top lane. They are up onto the shrines now. Muradin, the front line from Funky Moon, still not up for another 7 seconds. This should be an easy shrine, and it's also an arcane punisher as well for good old Run It Down, and they have level 20 Storm Talons too. This is very dangerous, and if they want to end the game, it is now.
Absolutely, this is Funky Moon's last chance to get a good fight. In these choke points where Cassia, with that Pierce at level 16, is able to do so much damage. But you know who else does a lot of damage in these chokes? Asmodon. We saw last fight, he was killing people from half health with those dunks. Probably seeing more of that now.
And the big fight, the do or die. This is Funky Moon's last chance of defense. Can they get something? Botstick gets stunned up all by the Flesh Shield. He's forced to Avatar, but he's so low. That's the front line for Funky Moon. And there you go, Cassia drops, Fesh drops. That's the damage dealers out for Funky Moon. They have to back away and at least hope for a great defense. But this is difficult. It's all up to what can Run It Down do. Level 20, 2-level advantage. Funky Moon,
double kill
close towards
from Run It Down. No damage is left on the side of Funky Moon. I don't know how they're going to defend this, but they're going to need to pull a miracle somehow.
Don't worry, Muradin, 1v5. It's all in the heart of the cards. It's all good. Oh no, double support. They'll do it. That's why the double support. It's the damage dealers. But here we go. Punisher, full health. Rest of Run It Down. They're running it down top lane and they're onto the call. Shield is down. It is so going to be a clutch fight. 10 seconds before the next DPS comes out for Funky Moon. And they're trying Bot Slick, Penta, Glance. They're doing what they can, but that caused
too much
so
damage.
much damage. That's going to be GG. And Run It Down. Take it to this team that's competing for second place. An incredible match. That was just wow.
Excellent play from Run It Down in that game. Getting the win over Funky Moon, severely hurting their chances of getting into the best top 2 from Open Division with that loss.
It is going to hurt their night tonight, but they tried to put up a fight. Probably, I agree with you there. They did put a lot in the basket of that Tracer with the Tacit and Malfurion to back it up. They didn't really have that other front line, because once Muradin, and that was the focus coming out from Run It Down, they focused Muradin, got the stun from Oriole, able to drop him down like he was nothing. What tank? He was more of a DPS type of health at that point. And once he was down, there was no front line left for Funky Moon to even try to contest or anything, and Run It Down just absolutely dangerous in that match. You wish you were watching. You saw all this that was happening. What were your thoughts on that match tonight?
Yeah, I mean that was impressive. It makes me kind of disappointed that we haven't seen Run It Down perform for the I'll start that again. For the entire 8 weeks, their rotation, something that you pointed out about 10 minutes in, their rotations were on point. It's something we haven't really seen a team in the Open Division perform quite like that. Like those rotations, assisted by that insane wave clear from Baxter on his Asmodan, just the rotations from bottom to mid were just insane, and they just got them that early lead with that little bit of experience, and then obviously getting that first Punisher. It was a really impressive showing.
Absolutely. Baxter Monument in particular on the Asmodan, top siege, top hero damage, top XP for his team, out-soaking the solo laner with those Generals of Hells on the side. He's going to be very happy with his performance in that game, getting the win for his team.
And just those globes, they were able to obliterate the team. Tracer at one point in team fight, she was half health entering the fight because she got poked down. And as soon as she jumped in looking to get the pulse bomb, bang, like that, she falls out of nowhere. And that was just the damage that Baxter was able to provide. And also Run It Down. Their front line were doing the front line job. They were tanking, they were rotating, they were peeling. Akbermo kind of got, anytime he got jumped on, they were sustained to help him keep him alive every time Fesh jumped on him. Now, that was first round, ladies and gentlemen, and Run It Down were your victors in this one. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to bring you some more juicy Open Division action with round 2 coming up shortly. We'll see you soon.